beautiful downtown El Paso and Southwest University Park, home to Locomotive FC. But the friendly confines haven't been so friendly of late. El Paso enters tonight's Jägermeister Cup Round 4 clash with Phoenix Rising on a 3-game losing streak in the 9-1-5. Hello and welcome to Southwest University Park. I am Duke Keith. So, Los Locos' last home win was May the 16th. Since then, they are winless in 3 straight matches here at Southwest University Park. They've lost 3 of their last 4, outscored 6-1 in that span, playing a Phoenix Rising squad that's won 2 of their last 3 as we take a look at what happened with Los Locos over these last couple of weeks. Last we saw, things weren't very pretty. El Paso losing 3-0 at Sacramento last Saturday night, generating just 6 shots on goal. That comes on the heels of a 2-1 loss to San Antonio in their last home match July 4th. El Paso can no longer advance to the knockout stages of the Jägermeister Cup, but they won't be taking it easy with back-to-back Jaeger Cup matches this week and next. Head coach Wilmer Cabrera wants the club to find its form, and fast.
Definitely, we need to use these 2 games to get that confidence, to get the win, and to be more solid defensively. That's the mentality. That's what we've been talking, and we're going to use that in order for us to make sure that we come back and we're still right there.
El Paso will take on Phoenix in Jaeger Cup action tonight, then play at Union Omaha next Saturday to wrap up group play. As for Phoenix Rising, you may remember this is their second trip to El Paso this season. The 2 sides played to a 4-4 draw on March 15th at the Swap. Phoenix can still advance to the knockout stage of the Jaeger Cup as a wildcard team if things break their way. Hope Aveyevu leads the way for Phoenix with 4 goals, and tonight could be a shootout. Phoenix has allowed the most goals in the league, El Paso the second most, and they played to a 4-4 draw the last time. Here's a look at the Group 2 Jaeger Cup standings entering round 4. Phoenix needs a win plus help around the league to earn 1 of the 2 wildcard spots. El Paso in 5th place in Group 2, just playing for pride and hoping to find its form so it can focus on league play. Will El Paso finally find that form? Or will Phoenix Rising spoil Los Locos' home cooking in the Desert Duel? It's the 2025 Jägermeister Cup coming up next.
Celebrate the 4th of July all month long with Fun Country RV. Find huge discounts this month on boats and RVs. Get that perfect boat from Fun Country RV, where you'll find a huge selection like Landau, G3, and Viaggio. Fun Country RV is the largest parts dealer in the Southwest. Check out our parts and service department for all your boat and RV needs. Take the Anthony Exit Zero to Fun Country RV or find us online at funcountryrvs.com.
Everyone needs a moment to recharge. A quiet pause, a warm cup of coffee, a breath before the road calls again. At Arribas Enterprises, we understand how important it is to take care of those who keep the world moving. That's why we support our drivers every mile of the way. Take a break, recharge, keep moving forward. With us, you are never driving alone. Now hiring experienced CDL drivers. Apply today at ArribasEnterprisesInc.com or call us now, 915-881-4024.
On Saturday, July 19th, during intermission, head down to the track to meet your favorite drivers, collect autographs, and snap some photos. Then the action heats up under the lights as White Sands Federal Credit Union 305 Wing Sprint Cars, Hacienda Carpet and Tile X Mods, SH Automotive Pure Stocks, Johnstone Supply, Southwest Super Trucks, and Extreme Landscaping USRA stock cars go head-to-head. Gates open at 5 p.m., racing at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at VadoSpeedwayPark.com.
Southwest University Park, Duke Keith with you as a beautiful and clear afternoon leading into evening here in El Paso. It is absolutely gorgeous today. Lots of rain yesterday, but that seems to have cleared out. And there you see, Locomotive FC, Phoenix Rising FC, each at 6-5-5. Rising's goal differential is 0. El Paso's is -1. Therefore, Rising is 5th in the league. Locomotive is 6th. But that is not the Jägermeister Cup. Jägermeister Group Play matches taking the place of 4 USL Championship games for 2025. And there you see 6 groups, 1 winner from each. 2 wild card teams also advanced to quarterfinals via tiebreakers. Rising FC still has the outside chance of getting there, but they need help. If they're tied after 90 minutes, there is no tie, no draw. We go straight to shootout and penalty kicks. As we take a look at the starters for tonight for Locomotive FC, there you see the return of the team captain. Palermo Ortiz is back along with Kofi Tumasi. Roberto Coronado gets the start in the middle, and it's a pretty experienced lineup for Wilmer Cabrera, who wants to get things righted, the ship righted for Locomotive FC for the rest of the season. He's going to use tonight's match to do that. For Rising FC, a lot of new faces, lots of academy players. Braxton Montgomery getting the start tonight, along with, you see, Anthony Capitillo. That kid is 15 years old. He is on the bench to start tonight for Pamoduca's Rising FC. Ready to go tonight. Beto Avila will get us started. On the referee's whistle, Locomotive in their dark blue unis. Jägermeister Cup action underway from Southwest University Park. As we pointed out, Locomotive starting Andy Cabrera. Up top, Amando Moreno as well. It is that three-headed monster along with Beto Avila. As Wilmer Cabrera wants to see a response after a very disappointing 3-0 loss. So we take a look at the referees tonight. Our center ref, Matt Thompson. Assistant referees, Matthew Schwartz, Bennett Savage. And our fourth official, Cuauhtemoc Delgadillo. Rising an early cross, handled easily by Ortiz. Scoots that one out nicely along the right wing for Cabrera. No foul called, but it will travel to Avila. And actually they played advantage. Matt Thompson electing to see what happened with that. And with Phoenix getting a leg in, they will call the foul. So advantage played. And the restart here for Locomotive. Cabrera trying to dance, but handling his business out of the wing. Darius Johnson. Johnson, the Englishman. Rising FC, as we pointed out, does have a mix of experience with those academy players. As you might imagine, Phoenix, suburban Phoenix area, pretty fertile ground to recruit your soccer team from. And there's some youngsters in the Phoenix area who have been part of various U14s, U17, United States national teams. You would imagine for Wilmer Cabrera, it is about doing what Locomotive needs to do, and they do always want to get off to that hot start. Locomotive trying to regain their scoring mojo. Both of these teams have given up their fair share of goals. Phoenix Rising, the most in the league. Locomotive right next to them. Ruiz on the throw-in. Got to be a little different facing a team that basically he's never seen, players he's never seen, but a real eye-opener. The foul whistled. As we take a look at our Team Casa keys to the match, control the midfield. Hit and miss in the middle of the park as of late for Locomotive. They've got to be on point tonight. And here's a deep ball probing. Taken away nicely. Reese That's a foul on El Paso. Imer Cabrera talking how much he wanted to see his team improve its physicality. It's different when you're a bit outsized, although with a lot of academy players that should be a little different. But there you see as we continue our Casa Auto Group keys to the game. No silly mistakes. Los Locos have conceded multiple goals in recent weeks due to lapses in concentration. That cannot happen versus a team that can pick you apart like Phoenix. Academy players in the lineup are not. And find the attack. Just one goal at home since May 16th. Only 3 since May 24th total. Phoenix will give up their opportunities. El Paso has to capitalize. And of course, Locomotive and Phoenix, second match of the season for El Paso. Playing to that thrilling 4-4 draw. It was thrilling for Phoenix. 2 goals after the 80th minute. Not so thrilling for Locomotive fans. Of course, Mohamed Traore, that basically clearance from beyond midfield that settled in just right. Will certainly be one of the goals of the season. That's nicely done across, and it's basically an own goal. Forcing the issue is Isan Sako. Great service from the wing, and Sako there on the porch. And Tomasi tangled up. I will be interested to see who gets the final touch. The Frenchman, Isan Sako. In from FC Thun, giving Phoenix an early lead here in just the 6th minute. Great switch. Beautifully laid off by Margarita. Jarul Margarita throws that one in. And there is Sako to put it away. Four goals and 4 assists for Sako this year. That ties for the team lead in goals scored with Hope Abayevo. Outstanding youngster. That's a physical foul on the wing. And our first caution after the game follows the first goal. Quesada still on the ground. Finally he's able to get up. But our first caution will go to Darius Johnson here in minute 7. So the goal in the 6th. Johnson gets into the book in the 7th. Well, it's been an eventful match so far. We're not 10 minutes in. Casa keys to the game. What was our last one? No silly mistakes. Actually, the middle one. Well, that deserves a definite whelp. Into the 8th minute. It will be a throw-in for Phoenix here. I think they're still debating on whether or not that was an own goal off Tomasi. So they have not updated the official score as of yet, but we will await that. I don't think our replays were not definitive. The restart here for Phoenix. And El Paso up against it here at home. We'll see if we can find another angle on that replay. Our crew is, we've got the cameras nicely laid off and just a little too far ahead of Colin Smith. This should be pretty good. Yep, that's an own goal. Kofi Tomasi with the own goal in the 9th minute, but the issue forced by Isan Sako, and it's 1-0 to the visitors. And it is officially ruled an own goal as well. That was a very dangerous restart. Colin Smith, who comes to Rising FC from Rhode Island FC, playing to a scoreless draw earlier today with Hartford. And that man looking for answers. Wilmer Cabrera, trying to find that hot form that defined the early start to the season. Locomotive, despite its troubles, still in second place before last weekend. That's nicely touched. Moreno slides it, trying to find top of the box. Cabrera gives him a thumbs up for the effort, but it's cleared away by Phoenix. Turnover forced. Coronado, the man who forced that turnover. Guess who? Gabi Torres. Easily saved by Tristan Henry, who gets the nod over Patrick Rakowski tonight for Rising FC. Good work on the wings for El Paso. Reese gets a piece. That will roll in touch. Take a look at the replay. That's chopped. Cabrera gets a foot to it, able to stick it into the turf, but an easy save in the end for Tristan Henry. Should be noted, not a usual thing, but Pamoduka carrying 3 goalkeepers into the action here today. Rakowski is on the bench. Tristan Henry, obviously, gets the start in Jan Villegas from the Academy. Here's a nice shot. Turned aside. Weight falls too. Is able to get on top of that. But Phoenix peeling El Paso apart. And an excellent effort from Jamison Ping. He's a Rising Academy product, just 16 years of age. Here is a shot and a goal. Goodness gracious. Gabi Torres on the other side. The Brazilian ties the match in the 12th with a rip from inside the box. Just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man tying the match in the 12th. Gabi Torres right in stride. Beautiful layoff from Avila. First time effort. Not a lot Tristan Henry was going to do about that. Well, that's the way you answer if you're El Paso. But as we've seen, both teams have had their opportunities, including the 16-year-old Jamison Ping. Waite urging for a little help from the wing from Ricky Reese, the Jamaican international. There is Gabi Torres, leads the league with 27 interceptions. He's already had one tonight. Of course, it's Jägermeister Cup, so it doesn't count officially in championship standings. It's another foul drawn. Cabrera tied up by the teenager, Jamison Ping. .30. I guess that's a happy birthday. If so, happy birthday. If not, we're left to ponder. Nicely done over the top. Cabrera trying to race to chase that one down. He's going to get there, but it's off of his feet for a throw. Well defended by Ryan Flood. Man who played some soccer across the ocean, Finn's Harps in Ireland. 26-year-old. Locomotive's going to win that back across the mouth of goal. To no avail. Gabi Torres. Moreno. Back to Torres. Back and forth we go. Well, the fans may have a treat tonight. not sure what the coaches are going to be feeling after this evening's action is done. Well, Wilmer Cabrera wanted an answer. He's found one. Gabi Torres evens the action. Kofi Tomasi over the top. Quesada going to get to the byline. That is deflected. That's going to bounce. Moreno comes down. Torres, what a save! Oh my! Tristan Henry gets down to make that one. Torres was about to give Locomotive the lead. What a reaction save by Tristan Henry, the 31-year-old from Memphis 901 FC. Showing Pamo Duka, hey, you've got Patrick Rakowski, but I'm here too. Ortiz doesn't get the altitude on that clearance. Rizzo, Pierce Rizzo, another rising academy product, just 18 years old, handling his business in the middle. Dennis and Coronado getting tangled up. Let's take a look at this one again. Tristan Henry doing some work as that slices off the foot of Braxton Montgomery, is one of those rising academy products, gives the ball away. Torres, the Brazilian veteran, ready to pounce. But so was Tristan Henry. Coronado, a little hand to the face, but he goes over the back, and Phoenix has another free kick. Far out, but on that right-hand side. Who does his hair? Love the chain, too. Loco's getting loco on a Saturday night in El Paso. Again, the restart, Dennis. Early, well, some jostling in the scrum. So we'll do it again. Dennis, the man in from Tampa Bay Rowdies, another Englishman, native of Brighton, UK. All League in 2023. Ranked second in chances created for Tampa Bay Rowdies. They'll take it a little shorter this time. Margarita, it was his pass who forced the own goal off of Tomasi. Alvaro Quesada, another Memphis 901 products, Palmdale, California native. Locomotive has some guys who can get up and down the pitch. And they'll win a throw in here. And Armando Moreno. Well, there you see struggles here at Southwest University Park. Locomotive started a house of fire, unbeaten in their first 6, but 0-3 since, and outscored 6-1 in those matches. Of course, losing to Switchbacks as well in Jägermeister Cup action. Coronado taken down, and a word of warning for the Englishman. Grace will restart. Ortiz, great to see Palermo back in action for Locomotive. Went down in that Locomotive win at Monterey Bay, and we haven't seen him since. Getting back into action, the team captain, Moreno. Nicely done across. Moreno floats one to the far side, slipping is Quesada, and it will roll for a Phoenix Rising throw. The USL on ESPN2. Watch July 26th for a Jägermeister Cup Round 4 match between Championship Club Detroit City FC and League One newcomer Westchester SC. That is happening 5 p.m. Eastern next week on ESPN2. Phoenix wins the ball. Rising, nice sidestep. Coming in for the shot. Johnson in tight. Great save, Jamali Waite. Got it to the feet of the Englishman. Charlie Dennis could not steer it by the Jamaica international, but Waite is shaken up. Great little dink in. Top of the 6. Dennis trying to come through, but Jamali Waite will shake it off. Just a little sting, obviously. Anybody who says soccer is not a contact sport. Think again. Reese over the top. Quesada trying to get there. It will be a Locomotive throw. Off the head of Smith. Worked around. Skips away from Ortiz a bit. Well done reading that play. Nice feed forward from Dennis. Another service, far post. Too far ahead of Margarita. But Phoenix, Darius Johnson, Charlie Dennis, working some magic on that left-hand side, and Johnson upset with himself with that pass. Some Locomotive kits out there, the Talavera kit. That's a great looking kit. Just for the fans. Tomasi will allow the throw here.
Spot's good.
Short throw. There's Dennis again.
Red, ball's out. First touch, Moreno's off the touch.
Here you see the assistant referees. Our mics are better than yours.
He's already outside when it hit.
Right in front of one of our field mics. Good long throw in here. Here's Coronado. Referees in constant communication. As any coach will tell you, communication is key. They want to see people talking. That applies to the officials as well, and the foul earned. Again, Andy Cabrera. Locomotive. Wilmer Cabrera talked about it earlier this year. The most fouled team in the league. The Jägermeister Cup, proud to be the presenting sponsor for the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. And that's a foul earned. Darius Johnson and Locomotive getting some warnings now. Quesada getting a talking to by Matt Thompson. As Locomotive trying to find ways to drill down on number 22. Native of London. Johnson and his fellow Englishman, Brighton's Charlie Dennis, have really worked well down the wings. Dennis has just been everywhere tonight. Dennis will take this free kick. Certainly defending free kicks, problematic for a team a little shorter, but Ortiz is there firmly. Doesn't get a lot of clearance, and that's going to roll off the fingertips of Margarita for a Locomotive free kick. Into the 24th minute in El Paso, Texas. Yank action for the takedown. Great work by Gabi Torres to earn the foul. Dennis gives him a little handshake. Dennis on the left, Dennis on the right. Box to box, how about touchline to touchline? Charlie Dennis has been everywhere so far. Reese. Tomasi. And the captain. Over the top. Little stumble by Armando Moreno. Select is the official match ball of the USL Championship and leagues around the world, from Academy to the big league. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. Rolled nicely. They're on it. Margarita couldn't keep it. That's an excellent recovery. A run. Gabi Torres. There again. But Phoenix. Great sliding action by Cabrera. Will roll it into touch. Well, neither one of these teams has shown that it can stop the other definitively. Outside of the keepers. Here's Cabrera. In full stretch. Andy Cabrera trying to lay it off. He's going to get that one back, but too far ahead of Moreno. Wilmer Cabrera looking for answers for his team. And with the veteran lineup to start tonight, very much wanting to see a good effort tonight and try to get back on the winning track. Pamoduka, rising coach in his first year, part of that FC Cincinnati organization. Nicely sprinted into space, but Tomasi has the wheels. Darius Johnson knew it as soon as the pass was released. Nicely worked, Frank DeRoma. Locomotive could do worse than to get number 8 on the ball a little more. Easier said than done. Good switch. Right into the path of Reis from Ortiz. Moreno wants somebody to come up. DeRoma sliding in, but getting a piece of that is Sacco. Ortiz. Good little visit into the Phoenix rising half. Here's Moreno again to the byline. Trying to pull it back, but it rolls. And it is off the foot of Colin Smith for a Locomotive corner. First corner of the match. Earned by Locomotive FC. Locomotive, 11 goals off of corner kicks, primary or secondary actions this season. It's been a spell. We talked about that Monterey Bay game, and of course that was Wahab Akwe. Off of a corner kick. Quesada there, unless they want to play it, if they want to play it short. Cabrera to take the corner. Interesting. But over everyone's head, it'll roll out on the other side for a Phoenix throw. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. Caution to El Paso. Caution goes to Beto Avila here in the 29th minute. Fans in attendance tonight on a Saturday evening. The shadows have fallen over everything but the big doghouse here at Southwest University Park. Rising trying to go over the top. Karam's around. Here's Dennis again. Tomasi there to cover. Ruiz slices it over the top. On the run, but not with the wheels. Beto Avila. Better positioned by Ryan Flood. The big Irish or big defender from Tempe, Arizona. He played in Ireland. Was there to cover. He might be of Irish extraction. Who's to say? But he is from the Valley of the Sun. Here's Daroma. That's a good pass. Cabrera tries to square it. Lifted out again. Flood there. Another corner coming for Locomotive. Locomotive and their attack really starting to find some traction. The tying goal so far from Gabi Torres after the own goal off of Kofi Tomasi in the very early going. Didn't take long for Locomotive to equalize, but looking to go ahead here. Ruiz on to take it. Quesada, an option if they wish to play short. Ruiz with the left foot, in swinging ball. If he decides to lift this one in. And he does. Kind of a low driving kick. Flood is there only so far as the edge of the box. Cabrera still a scramble for it and covered. And there's Charlie Dennis. Dennis long over the top. Why not? Darius Johnson has been an absolute threat. That's a foul on Johnson. Quesada does a good job going from being an option in the short corner to getting back defensively. Those mental lapses that we talked about, and obviously the own goal, that's problematic, but Locomotive showing that they can handle their business at least on the wings. Alvaro Quesada back defensively there. Big right foot for Palermo Ortiz. Coming from Locomotive's sister club, FC Juarez Bravos, who started their Apertura season in Liga MX. Cross back to Ortiz. Cabrera trying to touch that one up. Good job to stay in the way. Cuello, the Argentine. Daroma. As Jamison Ping, the Academy player, dispossessed from the back over the top here. Moreno. Flag goes up. Wouldn't have counted it had he been able to get on to it. Locomotive beginning to spend a little more time in the Phoenix half, making the fans happy. And the flag goes up on the other side as Phoenix tries to restart. Of course, Daniel Carter, as we learned this week, has been recalled to Real CD España in Honduras. 21 years old, arrived in El Paso before the 2025 season. 13 matches across all competitions, 6 starts, 2 goals and an assist. Open Cup play, Jägermeister Cup play against Ventura County FC and New Mexico United, respectively. Also set up Andy Cabrera for the late game tying goal in the season opener against Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. So best wishes to Daniel Carter, who heads back to his native Honduras. Solid offensive presence. One of Locomotive's more physical guys up front. More of that true number 9 role. Andy Cabrera, who has 10 goals in the USL Championship so far. Oh, that is a dangerous back pass. Wow. Tantalizing from Cabrera. As soon as I try to shout him out and give him some flowers, might perhaps being the man Locomotive tries to go to. Here's another one, Armando Moreno. Moreno, nice cutback, tries to pull it back. It'll come back to him as it's deflected. And taken away, going down out of nothing. They'll call a foul out of that. Interesting. Was there contact? Oh, okay, a little heel clip. Incidental, but contact was made. So the restart here. Grateful for slow motion cameras and angles. Our Southwest Video and Media, pardon me. Shout out to Miguel Mendez there. Our Mountain Star sports crew doing an outstanding job here tonight. Our crew tonight giving me my flowers. Those vouchers are good for beverages, aren't they? Outstanding. Moreno. Gabi Torres has that one deflected. Actually goes off of Torres last for a rising throw. As we say, Locomotive has spent a little more time in the rising half as the game has worn on, but still nothing to show for it as of now. That'll find Moreno, chipped over the top, too far for Cabrera and easily handled by Henry. Rakowski's done a fine job in net. Big man from Orange County SC, native of Olpe, Germany. But the Canadian, Tristan Henry, man from Scarborough, Ontario, is certainly no slouch as the backup. Both Rakowski and Henry, 31 years of age. Each has spent their time as the last line of defense for some pretty solid teams in Orange County and Memphis 901 respectively. Henry with a beautiful save, otherwise it'd be 2-1 Locomotive. Another great effort by Gabi Torres, stoned. Great reaction save by Henry to keep this one 1-1. Here's Ruiz working it around. Moreno. Locomotive, as you might expect, Gabi Torres, in it goes, and there is Andy Cabrera. It's been a minute, but all he needs is a touch. Getting behind the defense to make it 2-1. Torres, a stinging cross. Touched home by Locomotive's leading goal scorer. 10 in the championship tonight, or in this season so far, but Andy Cabrera. Just a step ahead of Emil Cuello. And that's all he needed, right from the edge of the six. Andy Cabrera gives Locomotive a 2-1 lead in the 38th minute. Beautifully worked. We're about to point out Locomotive, as we had been talking about, with lots more of the possession. $13 goals in all competitions. 6 for the club record. He has, of course, 6 in the month of May, which is a team record, and was, of course, the USL Player of the Month in May. Non-penalty goals, 10 of them for Andy Cabrera.
Go inside, Matt. Go inside.
That makes Dad happy, although you wouldn't see it from Wilmer Cabrera. Good poker face on the touchline. Former Colombian international. Locomotive will want to throw on the other side. Locomotive starting to win the fouls as well. Seven assists for Gabi Torres across all competitions. The Brazilian has been an absolutely massive pickup. Of course, playing against his former team in Rising FC, where he won a title 2 seasons ago. Critical piece of the puzzle for Locomotive FC's success and rebound from some non-playoff seasons. Over the top. Torres looking for a little shirt pull call from the ref. It will not get it. And it will roll out. Actually, he is whistled for the foul. Matt Thompson, our center referee tonight. Good pressure applied by Avila. Colin Smith having to get rid of it, but Rising handles its business. A little more quiet for Darius Johnson over these last few minutes. We'll see if that stays the case. Switch over the top. Dennis, good flick on. Margarita goes to get it in the wing. Double teamed. Well done, Reese, with some help from Coronado. Reese tries to blast one over the top. A little misjudged attempted header by Colin Smith. But Avila not able to take advantage. Out it'll come. Too far ahead. Goal kick for Jamali. Jamali waits. Came to Locomotive FC from Pittsburgh, native of Philadelphia. Interestingly, the man who is the normal starter for the Jamaican national team, Andre Blake, is the goalkeeper for Philadelphia Union in Major League Soccer. Jamali Waite, though, has been an able fill-in when needed. For the Reggae Boys. Locomotive wins a throw. Nursing a 2-1 lead as we hit the 43rd minute. Avila. That's a great bit of defense. There in the back, Jamison Ping. Youngster, 16 years old. Won that like a pro. Cuello now given away. Ahead it'll come. Moreno with space. Far post, he just missed it. Avila would like to have seen that ball, but no fault for El Paso's number 10. He knew he had his man beat, just too steep an angle, too sharp an angle. The Locomotive's experience beginning to show here. You can tell Pamuruka, Rising FC's coach. Oh, that one. Dangerous crossing ball back to Tumasi from the wing. Reese, a little miss there. Gets it back, though, Tumasi. To Reese, where it's put out for a throw by Margarita. With Pamuruka starting lots of his academy players with a few more on the bench besides. He believes, of course, only the top two next best records get in after the 6 group winners in the Jägermeister Cup for the quarterfinals. Locomotive well out of the running for the next round. Looking for a result to get a result more than anything else. Winning result. Especially to knock out the cobwebs in front of the home fans. So far, home fans are happy. Head coach is happy. Team is happy. Will it stay that way? Of course, in that second match in March versus Rising FC, Locomotive had a 4-2 lead going into the final stages, the final 10 minutes, before Rising put 2 in the 80th and 86th to tie the match at 4. An unbelievable game in every respect. Reis, long switch. Cabrera, one-on-one with Cuello. Puts it back to Roma. And there's the official signal. We will have 2 minutes of stoppage time. No hydration break. Temperatures well within range. But they decided not to stop the match. That's over the top. Nicely done from the back. Reis to Torres. From the byline, long cross on the other side. Avila will get there, and it goes wide. Offside flag was up, would not have mattered. But you see Locomotive really beginning to step on the gas. And have their way up the wings. They've done a very good job adjusting versus Darius Johnson, who along with Charlie Dennis were terrors in the opening minutes. Here's Jamali Waite. We'll rip that one. That'll come back and skip. It'll come to DeRoma. It was a good thought trying to find Darius Johnson off of Sacco. Couldn't connect on that pass. Reis. Final half minute of stoppage time. Coronado. Tomasi. Reis. As we come to the end of stoppage time. One more stab here for Locomotive, maybe. Torres to Coronado. That's going to do it. The back pass seals the deal. At the half, 2-1 Locomotive after trailing 1-0 or 0-1 on an own goal off of Kofi Tomasi in the 6th minute. Gabi Torres in the 11th, Andy Cabrera in the 38th. As Locomotive leads it now 2-1 going into halftime. Gabi Torres with an absolute smasher. Great spidey sense there. And Andy Cabrera. Back with more after this.
You can buy a new car anywhere. What makes Casa different? The trust we've earned along the way. 55 years later, we're still growing bigger to serve you better. Now with 16 trusted brands. From everyday value to luxury and performance, with thousands to choose from all under one roof. And with our Casa Advantage, you get peace of mind with lifetime powertrain protection, free home delivery, and Casa's 7-day return policy. Bigger brands, better value, and the name you can trust. Casa, the home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Celebrate the 4th of July all month long with Fun Country RV. Find huge discounts this month on boats and RVs. Get that perfect boat from Fun Country RV, where you'll find a huge selection like Landau, G3, and Viaggio. Fun Country RV is the largest parts dealer in the Southwest. Check out our parts and service department for all your boat and RV needs. Take the Anthony Exit 0 to Fun Country RV or find us online at funcountryrvs.com.
On Saturday, July 19th, during intermission, head down to the track to meet your favorite drivers, collect autographs, and snap some photos. Then the action heats up under the lights as White Sands Federal Credit Union 305 Wing Sprint Cars, Hacienda Carpet and Tile X Mods, SH Automotive Pure Stocks, Johnstone Supply, Southwest Super Trucks, and Extreme Landscaping USRA stock cars go head-to-head. Gates open at 5 p.m., racing at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at VanoSpeedwayPark.com.
With more traffic back on El Paso highways, the potential for serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com.
It all started with one couple's vision to farm pistachios in the desert. 50 years later, that dream lives on in heart of the desert, New Mexico's first and largest pistachio grove. The farm's success also fuels the dreams of other New Mexico entrepreneurs. Small batch bakers and ice cream and candy makers create delicious goodies from the farm's pistachios. A local winemaker produces quality wine from the farm's grapes. Heart of the Desert Pistachio and Wine. You can taste the tradition. Locations in Alamogordo, Mesilla, and Las Cruces.
Welcome back. Oh, it's former ABC 7 stars here tonight. Locomotive FC leading Phoenix Rising 2-1. Nice come from behind effort. Shout out to Liz O'Hara and Swanee. Chris Swan here tonight. Let's take a look at the latest Jaeger Cup standings. Jägermeister Cup, first groups 1 and 2. And you'll see Locomotive FC in there in Group 2. Eliminated already from advancing to the next round, but these games still matter. Of course, as we pointed out, we met Cabrera wanting to find a response. He's getting it. Groups 3 and 4 now. In the 11, Rhode Island FC. The group winners will advance automatically, and then the next best 2 records out of that. And they have to be second-place teams from groups 3 and 4, and now groups 5 and 6. Loudoun United FC, Tampa Bay Rowdies topping things so far with another couple of games to go for many of these teams. There you see it's 4 matches in the opening round. The top group winners, or the group winners plus the next best 2, advance to the quarterfinals. Taking a look at news and notes from around the league, joining the Century Club Sacramento Republic FC head coach Neil Collins, earning his 100th USL Championship win last Saturday. That was against Locomotive FC, we should point out. Race for most assists, Indy 11's Aiden Quinn recorded his 56th career assist against Rhode Island FC. That places him 3rd in the all-time league record. And chasing the most goal contributions, Birmingham Legion's Enzo Martinez, 128th goal contribution against NCFC, only 4 behind the league record. A lot of the USL action this next week are Jaeger Cup matches. El Paso at Union Omaha, that's on the 26th at 6 p.m. New Mexico versus San Antonio, July 26th at 7 p.m. The only non-Jaeger Cup game, Rising FC taking on Orange County, July 30th on ESPN2. Colorado Springs versus Texoma in Jaeger Cup play as well. Sac Republic versus Spokane, and Monterey Bay versus AV Alta. 2-1 here at the break. More of our halftime show as we continue after this.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
To the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
3 ice cold Jägermeister shots, please. Those look warm.
Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold.
Service on the corner! And it's 1-0 City. Sadie scores! Leveling for Westchester.
Turn on your TV and get ready to be entertained. Few things can captivate a mass audience like live sports. And if a broadcast feels like magic,
a lot of people just think you flick the switch and it's easy and it magically appears, but there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes.
Mike Friedman is the vice president and executive producer at NEP Media Services. For USL National Broadcasts on CBS, Friedman's team is close to 40 people.
They're led by the producer and director. That's for any production. And then from there, you have associate directors, you have graphics people, you have replay people, you have the camera operators, you have engineers, you have tech managers, all working for that one common goal of a smooth broadcast.
Now, here's something you may not know. At NEP in South Florida, hundreds of broadcasts in the USL Championship, League One, and Super League are broadcast remotely. All stadium cameras feed directly to NEP. And just like a truck on site, camera shots are switched live. And there are eyeballs on the product. In April, CBS's production of Phoenix Rising FC at San Antonio FC peaked at 776,000 viewers.
The way we do TV for other sports is different than soccer. So it's finding that sweet spot of taking what people are used to seeing and adding that American TV touch into it.
Welcome back here from Southwest University Park at halftime. Locomotive FC has stormed back to take a 2-1 lead in Jägermeister Cup action over Rising FC. And we'll take a look at that second goal, the game winner at this point. We still have a half to play, but Gabi Torres, who scored the first goal, assists on the second, and it was a thing of beauty. Torres loose along that left wing side. Beautiful cross, and Andy Cabrera just a step ahead of the Argentine Cuello to touch that one home. All he needs right from the middle of the 6-yard box. Torres lining this one up. Gets by Rizzo. One of those Academy products for Phoenix Rising FC, and 2-1 is where we stand at the half at Southwest University Park. Back with more as we continue. Stats and highlights coming up.
On Saturday, July 19th, during intermission, head down to the track to meet your favorite drivers, collect autographs, and snap some photos. Then the action heats up under the lights as White Sands Federal Credit Union 305 Wing Sprint Cars, Hacienda Carpet and Tile X Mods, SH Automotive Pure Stocks, Johnstone Supply, Southwest Super Trucks, and Extreme Landscaping USRA stock cars go head-to-head. Gates open at 5 p.m., racing at 7:30 p.m. Tickets available at VanoSpeedwayPark.com.
Everyone needs a moment to recharge. A quiet pause, a warm cup of coffee, a breath before the road calls again. At Arribas Enterprises, we understand how important it is to take care of those who keep the world moving. That's why we support our drivers every mile of the way. Take a break, recharge, keep moving forward. With us, you are never driving alone. Now hiring experienced CDL drivers. Apply today at ArribasEnterprisesInc.com or call us now, 915-881-4024.
With more traffic back on El Paso highways, the potential for serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to downtown El Paso. A look at the beautifully renovated Plaza Hotel, the original Hilton high-rise in El Paso, Texas. 2-1 to Locomotive FC. Come from behind effort. Let's take a look at our first half stats. Locomotive with the stat that counts right now in their favor, that being the score, 2-1. But shots on goal and shots, pretty much a 2-1 margin for Locomotive all the way around. 3-1 if you look at shots in total. Possession, about what you'd expect. After a shaky opening 10 to 15 minutes, Locomotive has really buttoned things down defensively and has won a couple of corners, offsides for either team, a couple of yellow cards as well. Back with the highlights before we start the second half. On the return, right after this.
With more traffic back on El Paso highways, the potential for serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com. Pack and Ship Express can help with any printing needs, big or small. Our team has the expertise and state-of-the-art technology to print posters or banners, as well as flyers, brochures, and business cards. Need something ASAP? Pack and Ship offers deadline printing, so if you need something fast, Pack and Ship Express can help. Pack and Ship Express, so much more than shipping, at 6112 North Mesa in the Thunderbird Shopping Center. Find us online at packandshipep.com.
It all started with one couple's vision to farm pistachios in the desert. 50 years later, that dream lives on in heart of the desert, New Mexico's first and largest pistachio grove. The farm's success also fuels the dreams of other New Mexico entrepreneurs. Small batch bakers and ice cream and candy makers create delicious goodies from the farm's pistachios. A local winemaker produces quality wine from the farm's grapes. Heart of the desert pistachio and wine. You can taste the tradition. Locations in Alamogordo, Mesilla, and Las Cruces.
You can buy a new car anywhere. What makes Casa different? The trust we've earned along the way. 55 years later, we're still growing bigger to serve you better. Now with 16 trusted brands. From everyday value to luxury and performance, with thousands to choose from all under one roof. And with our Casa Advantage, you get peace of mind with lifetime powertrain protection, free home delivery, and Casa's 7-day return policy. Bigger brands, better value, and the name you can trust. Casa, the home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome back. They're in the GECU green seats here at Southwest University Park. Fans spread out and enjoying themselves. 2-1 as we take a look at our first half highlights. And a beautiful switch here. That was off the foot of the Academy kid, Jamison Ping. Beautiful cross by Margarita, forcing the issue Sacco. That was an own goal on Kofi Tumasi. Big save here, Jamali Waite. Ping again. Academy products abounding for this Phoenix lineup, but the old head started to prevail. Avila, beautiful dish in stride. Torres, first time with a left foot, blazes through the ball. Slicing away, here is Torres. Beautiful save, reaction save by Tristan Henry. Excellent work on the other side by Jamali Waite again on the Englishman Dennis. And here's Torres. All he needs is a touch. Andy Cabrera. What do we have in store in the second half as Wilmer Cabrera wanting to see a response from his team after the losses, especially disappointing 3-0 loss on the road at Sacramento last week. He's seeing it so far. Coronado wins that one. Avila from Moreno. Torres, the former Rising FC man. A goal and an assist. No substitutions to start our second half for either side. Well done by Ping again. He's made some solid efforts, the young academy man for Rising FC. Locomotive will give Charlie Dennis the free kick. The former Rowdies man sets it up. Slice down to Roma. Nice sidestep. Excellent interception at the back by Ortiz, as you would expect. And Roma able to sneak it out. Ortiz into the middle. Coronado. Torres. Arcing ball headed up and over Moreno. Had a step on Ryan Flood, but not able to get behind that and steer it on goal. It basically bounced off the top of his head. Great thought, though. Great service, Gabi Torres. Maybe just a touch behind him. And our center referee, Matt Thompson, saying that Locomotive's Beto Avila is too close. Avila maintaining that my toes over the line, ref. Has to be outside of the 18-yard box. And Matt Thompson goes to make sure that he was. Beautifully done over the top, but taken away. Ortiz again. On the intercept away from Sacco. Long switch, Coronado. That's going to bounce kindly. Cabrera working on Cuello, who draws the foul. Quick restart into the middle. Ping to his fellow Academy product, Pierce Rizzo. Youngsters have relatively held their own. And there's still more on the bench for Pamoruca. There's Reese gets do-si-doed. Braxton Montgomery there. It's actually Moreno. Braxton Montgomery doesn't look 17, but he is. Locomotive will sneak that one through. Cabrera draws the double team to Roma. Tomasi. And Ruiz. Ruiz trying to get it up to Moreno, partially deflected. Ruiz there to meet Darius Johnson. Ricky Ruiz talking on Tuesday morning, leading into this match, about the need to just get back on the winning track. Doesn't matter if it's a Jägermeister Cup match, not a league match. Doesn't matter if Locomotive can't advance out of the group standings. They want to see a result. That's a foul. Avila doesn't like the call, but from the tap of Ryan Flood, daps him up. Back to Flood here. Good pressure by Locomotive. Just a presence. That pass is off, but it sneaks by Reese. Gets it away from Dennis. But only to Sacco. Phoenix wants a handball, shouts initially, but nobody really pursues it. Locomotive will carry this up and out of their area. Torres, the layoff for DeRoma. Phoenix trying for pressure, but Locomotive sneaking those passes through. DeRoma. Locomotive patient with the ball. Ortiz. Quesada. Alvaro Quesada, the man from Memphis. Good pressure by Phoenix, though. Sacco doesn't get that one by Tomasi. Good positioning. The Ghanaian, another former Rhode Island FC man. That's well won. Good job by Cuello. The Argentine taking it off the foot of Cabrera. Into the middle for Ping. Now Rising will knock it around as we hit the 53rd minute in El Paso, Texas. Did Rising an outside chance to advance out of Group 2 in the Jägermeister Cup, but they'll need help. Firmly in the middle of those in the hunt on the outside, but it's only the top two outside of the group winners who will make the cut. As Beto Avila as we will crunch the numbers. Brought to you by Beasley Mitchell and Company. Tonight's number, 297. That was coming into tonight. There have been a few more fouls drawn, but 297 fouls drawn in championship play. USL Championship play leads the league. Wilmer Cabrera talking about that going in, saying that it's one thing to draw the fouls, but he wants to see his side, though it is a bit undersized, be physical in response. How about this give and go? Nicely done up until that pass, Quesada. It's going to bounce. Gabi Torres is there. That is a foul. Colin Smith and Moreno. Possession still favoring Locomotive, roughly 60-40. Phoenix trying to change that a bit. It's a good idea by Sacco, just wasn't able to hook up with Braxton Montgomery. 17-year-old has that one run out. It will be a Locomotive throw. A little further back, please, for the throw in. And further back still. Okay now. Locomotive ready. Those long switches. Here's Avila to the middle. How about that run? Armando Moreno. Moreno. Avila. Keeps his feet. That's a good stab at it by Ping, but Avila still with possession. Quesada. Quesada tries to lift one in. They'll settle for a corner. Good cover by Phoenix in the end. Beautiful switch of play. And Armando Moreno showing the wheels to win Locomotive's second corner. Strike at their third. Quesada will stay back to play short. Ricky Reese to do the honors. They'll play it up. Cabrera. Quesada. Forward. Ruiz. High over the head. Brought down. Torres. Rather, Ortiz on the far post smashes it. It's deflected wide. Ortiz getting into the mix. Here's DeRoma. Has it go. Forces the save. Tomasi can't gather it. Last-ditch defending. And getting the congratulation of his teammates, Ryan Flood. The Tempe native averts disaster. What a hit, DeRoma. Forces another big save by Henry. DeRoma generates so much power. But Tuamasi couldn't get there in time. Great work by Flood. Locomotive with corner number 4. Cabrera will take this one from the other side. In-swinging ball headed out by Dennis. Only so far as DeRoma tries to set up for a touch. No opportunity for the shot. Quesada. Cabrera scoots one. Cabrera trying to get in. He's going to be whistled for the foul. Over the back of Ping, who did well to go down. The teenager draws the contact and shouts a pobrecito from the crowd. Good pressure here. Almost yielded the ball. Excellent work by Rizzo to escape. With Coronado sneaking in. Ping off to the left side. Back to the teenager, Jamison Ping. Gets knocked down. Fair challenge, says the referee. Quesada clears the danger. Smith trying to get it handled with Braxton Montgomery. Space for the teenager to recover. And as we hit the 59th minute, Locomotive holding on to that 2-1 lead, making some forays in the attack. But here is Rising FC. Good step over. Darius Johnson. It'll bounce to him. Cleared away. Only so far as Smith, Rizzo, Montgomery. To Dennis, the Englishman. Sent into the night sky by Palermo Ortiz for a throw. Boy, it's end-to-end stuff. And you have to imagine we're not done with the scoring. The only question's going to be who. I think Locomotive would love to put one in front of 8th Notch. They're in the south end of Southwest University Park. Rising FC, obviously, with other designs. Here's Quesada, Moreno. Into the stride of Torres, tries to one-touch to Avila. Rizzo is there. Foul will give the free kick to Locomotive. We may have some substitutions coming up. Cabrera draws the contact. Again, Locomotive. We pointed it out. Our Beasley and Mitchell and company crunching the numbers as Montgomery goes into the book. Third booking tonight, second for Rising FC. Matt Thompson's done a good job of keeping that card in the pocket. Locomotive in the restart trying to roll one. Moreno's going to get on it. Takes a position in front of Smith. Torres. DeRoma. Quesada. Quesada lofts one to the far post. Headed out firmly. And Coronado's going to be whistled for a takedown. And he's going to pick up a yellow card himself. Charlie Dennis, he thought, was off to the races. And we will have our first substitution of the night. And it will be for Locomotive FC. Frank Lopez about ready to come on in. The Cuban taking the place of Andy Cabrera, who has run a good race tonight. Cabrera back in the scoring column as Frank Lopez comes on to replace him. Dennis. Locomotive, oh, that is a foul, and it'll be a direct kick. It's a hard takedown. Avila goes to the ground. Montgomery already on a yellow, has to be very careful, the youngster. Braxton Montgomery, just 17 years old. Hopefully soon we'll be able to introduce Locomotive Technical Director Ray Sari. Will be joining us shortly. Couple of subs for Phoenix. Popmar Boy. Braxton Montgomery coming off. That is probably a wise decision. Montgomery, with that hard foul, is going to take his exit on the other touchline. Popmar Boy. The Senegalese. And Rizzo coming off. Replaced by Hope Avayevo. Tied for the goal-scoring lead for Phoenix with 4. Locomotive here on the restart. Curling in, swinging ball. Smith. That's a slice. Well over the end line. It's a good effort again by Locomotive after the pair of substitutions for Rising. Well done by Pamoduka to get Montgomery off. Well done, Gabi Torres. Wins another. Moreno having a go. Lopez over the bar. Frank Lopez is just desperate to get into the scoring column for Locomotive FC. Just to get into kind of a swing. For Lopez, the de Cienfuegos, Cuba, turned 30 this year. Came in with some things, health issues that he had to work through in the very beginning here in El Paso, but has been seeing regular minutes. It's well done on the wing. Neto Avila has put in the effort defensively tonight. After that early, shaky 10 to 15 minutes, opening 10 to 15 minutes of this match, Locomotive has done a much better job defensively and offensively. Gabi Torres trying to fight through it. That's going to be a foul on Dennis, or is it? No, it isn't. That's a foul on Gabi Torres. Englishman knew what he was doing. Give and go. Some open space for Darius Johnson. Johnson lets fly. Untroubled is Jamali Wade. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC, channel 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM-FC, channel 157, and the new Sirius XM app. We're hearing Beto Avila's night is just about done. Here's Daroma. Good effort by Lopez to help out Daroma. Moreno steers this way, gets shoved down. No call. Wow. Colin Smith lifted in an arm. Moreno goes down. Good interception. Palermo Ortiz takes the ball away from Sacco. Good run out of the back. Avila is going to earn a corner. Another good recovery by Flood, who helps his man up. Was this a foul? So, you might have been hearing some microphone checks. This is our man, technical director Ray Sari. Ray, thank you for coming up today, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at this Locomotive corner, and we'll talk a little Locomotive soccer. And we've spoken, obviously, with Andrew Forrest in the past. Lots of talk about the direction of the team, what goes on in terms of promotions and so forth. With you, we get to talk a little more soccer straight up.
The fun stuff.
The fun stuff. Nice job by Torres to lift one in. Flood again at the back. Here's Ortiz. There's Lopez to get on it. Flood kept him onside. Lopez, top of the box, having a go. Oh boy, missed, just left. Palermo Ortiz uncorks one. So, Palermo Ortiz has shown his quality all season long. It is wonderful to have him back in the lineup.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see a big difference in the team today with him here. Unfortunately, struggling with a little bit of injury that he picked up in that Monterrey game. He's had a good night tonight. And yeah, the team looks good tonight so far. Very good, very good. So hopefully we can hold on here.
Well, as you look at this team, and obviously you and Wilmer Cabrera have worked hand in hand to put together this roster. The goal is always to make the playoffs at the end. You've played in this league. You know what it's about. You've coached in this league. And what kind of goes into a roster build when you are basically tearing the whole thing down and starting over again?
Yeah, there's obviously so much that goes into it, so many different opinions. We're lucky enough to have a coach with such experience that Wilmer has. He's definitely been a big help to our club, and also just in terms of the recruitment process of players. He knows what he wants. It's very clear, which makes it easy for me. You know, I can go out there and be like, you know, this is a Wilmer guy. We know what those guys are, and it's done well so far. So we had a vision. We knew what we needed to improve in the team. Obviously, one of those big things was goals, and we've done so far this year. Now we got to focus on a little bit more of not letting in so many, but we have a great group. We're very happy with them so far. Obviously, we're in a little slump here since the mental health break, but you know, things are moving in the right direction. We're very happy with them, and you see them. They're still fighting. Slumps happen, and yeah, we still think we have a team that can be successful in this level, in this league.
Lopez, that's turned away. Moreno goes down. He's still down. And two Locomotive players, both Frank Lopez and Moreno, are down in the box. Lopez had a go. Forced the save from Tristan Henry. And it will be a nod to the sideline. For team trainer Cody Simmons to come on and take a look at Amando Moreno. Lopez is down as well, but it's Moreno right on the edge. Let's see if we can see anything here. Avila, beautiful flick. And just an inadvertent foot from Popmar Boy, but it did catch Amando Moreno on the noggin.
Oof.
Right on the back of the head. That's hard.
A couple big saves from Henry tonight, you know, keeping him in it.
Tristan Henry's been outstanding. Great reaction saves by the normal backup to Patrick Rakowski. But you talk about As members of 8th Notch look on, that's got to be hot. You talk about Frank Lopez, who is obviously a Wilmer Cabrera guy. He's coached him in the past, but Armando Moreno, Gabi Torres, Beto Avila, and of course Andy Cabrera. That's prototypical, and they all seem to have a very similar style coming forward, don't they?
No, absolutely. I think in those positions, what we really look for were dynamic players that can check to the ball and make things happen. They can connect in the midfield on the pass, but they can also run through. They can dribble through, and that's what we mean by dynamic. And if you look at all those players, I mean, they are the definition of dynamic,
Zian Emmers, the Swiss, coming on for Phoenix to replace Jamison Ping. A little more experience on the pitch now for Pamo Duka. Jamison Ping's done a pretty solid job. Phoenix starting tonight, electing to start. I think their standings, I guess, in Group 2 of the Jägermeister Cup probably reflect that, with a lot of inexperienced academy players. They have a pretty solid academy, it looks like. They've I think, purported themselves well tonight.
No, I think Pa has done a great job with their team so far this year. And, yeah, they have gone younger, which is great. And it's something that all of us in the league are trying to do. El Paso being one of those areas that is extremely talent-rich. We talk about it all the time. So many big players coming from this part of the country. Our academy is one and the same, and we've had a lot of academy players that have been able to contribute this year so far.
I think one of the cool things about the academy is obviously getting those kids opportunities, not just with this team, and there are some academy players on the bench for Coach Cabrera, but college scholarships. And I mean, year after year after year, you guys keep improving on your numbers of getting players into the college ranks, which, we knew El Paso's always had that talent with the Patriots back in the day.
Absolutely.
All local players, all guys who probably could have played college if they had the exposure. Absolutely. You've been getting them that exposure.
No, I mean, it's another big emphasis for us at the club. We put a lot of money into the under-20s. We put a lot of time into the academy to make sure that people in our community have the resources, they have the knowledge, they have the exposure for these teams to see them, and we very much encourage our players to explore the college route. We're lucky enough that we have the ability to sign pro contracts, like a Kenny Hoban, but we're also lucky enough to be playing in ECNL. Obviously, the USL Academy League is growing every single year, and these kids are getting exposure to top-end colleges as well. So we like to think that we can offer these kids great opportunities to continue to grow themselves, both academically and athletically.
Kenny Hoban, Chapo Vasquez on the bench tonight for Wilmer Cabrera. Frank Lopez is down, and before we do anything else, let's tell you that Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor for the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Now, when we look at this Locomotive roster, you pointed out what Locomotive has. But obviously, every team across the league is always looking to make those midseason adjustments. We see a couple of players moving on, and Tumi Mushaban and, of course, Daniel Carter getting recalled from his loan. What moves are you trying to make? I imagine that this kind of frees up a little bit for you to do your thing, correct?
Yeah, it does, and unfortunately we had to make some changes midway through the season. It's normal,
happens all the time.
And you'll see us look to make some moves maybe to improve the squad here. We're excited about what we have. We're lucky to be in a place, again, that has great resources that we can offer players. It's a place where players in this league want to come play. It's very well respected. The ownership group is fantastic. The fields, the training facility, the city, almost all the players, when they come here, they want to stay. Nobody wants to leave, because they like it so much. So, you'll see some great changes, I think, and some additions to the squad in the coming weeks.
Sadly, Frank Lopez didn't spend a lot of time on the pitch, already coming off with an injury. But speaking of that academy, Raul Chapo Vasquez takes his place.
Yeah,
for Locomotive
this
FC.
is exactly what we want these games to be. we want these games to use these games to give opportunity for these young players like Chapo. Chapo's a guy who's been training with the team every single day since preseason. He's got the experience, obviously going to a great program in GCU. He's a very intelligent player, and I think what we like about him most is the mentality. He's a guy, if you go watch one of the U20 Academy games, he's playing center midfield, he's playing center back, he's playing right back, sometimes attacking midfield. He's got the technical skills, but he's got the mentality. He's a winner, and it's one of the biggest things that I look for in a player when trying to sign them for our team is, does this guy have the mentality that we want? And you see it with guys like Amando, Beto, Gabby, Eric Avillo, Rob, Coronado, Frank DeRoma, all these guys that are on the field right now, Jamali Wade, they're winners. They have winning mentalities, and Chapo, he has a bit of that, and that's one of the reasons we like him so much.
Well, you talk about players coming here and wanting to stay, obviously. Guys like Eder Borelli and Yuma have elected to stay in El Paso after their retirement. It's something, especially I imagine for Spanish-speaking players, to be in an environment and a city that welcomes them, where they can be themselves and not have to worry about language barriers.
Well, yeah, the players and also the families themselves. Sometimes they have spouses that are Spanish speakers. There's quite a bit of players. Leandro Carrillo as well.
Yes,
is a guy that chose to stay in the Borderplex. So, again, we have a lot to offer players, not just on the field, but also the lifestyle and living in El Paso. It's a place that is a great place to play in the league.
Sacco with a shot. It was the offside flag up, so that one doesn't count. Well, you've been a player in this league, and obviously the USL Championship has grown and grown and grown, taking another step, promotion relegation coming after the World Cup. That's the aim anyway. That's a great bit of effort there. Again, Tristan Henry almost caught him off the line. Henry there able to recover. But in your opinion, from your playing days to now, how has the league changed? How has it grown?
Man, I think the professionalism in terms of even just an operational standpoint, the things that we have to offer players, obviously the compensation packages are much bigger than when I started playing in the league. But you look at places like El Paso, who wasn't in the league when I initially started. We've added great franchises. They're just fantastic. The league is improving year over year, adding players like Palermo Ortiz, what probably wasn't even possible 3 or 4 years ago in our league. So players around the world are seeing that this league has the ability, or has a lot to offer them. It's a great time to be a part of the league. It's
Division League, to have a players union that represents the pros in the League One and Championship level, as it will for whatever the first division is going to be called.
Absolutely. And it's an interesting one here, huh?
Very. The foul whistled. It looks to be Isan Sacco to take it. The Frenchman.
Watch this left foot, Charlie Dennis.
It will be Charlie Dennis. Over the wall and in. Jamali Waite gets a hand to it, but Charlie Dennis puts it through to make this one 2-2. Beautifully done. Charlie Dennis. Just a gorgeous free kick to tie things here in the 80th minute. Off the underside. That one is sent in by Darius Johnson. We'll see who gets credit for the goal, but it was Dennis's effort. Off the crossbar. Waite gets a fingertip to it. Just in the initial replay, it looks to me like it is Charlie Dennis's goal. We'll find out. Over the top, Locomotive ready to go back to work. So yes, still defensive work to be done. I imagine that might be the focus of what your next moves will be, Ray.
Yeah, it's disappointing to concede 2 goals in one game, but there's still a little bit of time left. Hopefully we can get something out of this game.
And I hate to work like a broken record as we take a look at this one again. Let's see if we can find. That one's off the top of the bar. It's not a goal there. Did it go over the line?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Clear the whole line.
So Darius Johnson is going to get that goal. That's going to be his goal.
Speaking of left foots, Ricky Ruiz here with the service.
Nicely done. And on the left side, These are always difficult, almost like a scratch shot in pool. In swinging ball, handled easily by Abayevu. It's going to be a foul and another free kick coming for Locomotive.
Get a second chance at it.
Good work by Reese on Margarita. Well, thank you very much, Ray. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, dude.
Looking forward to hearing more about Locomotive's moves coming up in the future. Locomotive Technical Director Ray Sari. Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you, dude.
As a reminder, if we're still tied at the end of regulation, we go to penalties. They'll take it short. Coronado back to Reese, trying to get wide by, gets to the byline. Ruiz pops one in, down and wide, brought down. Quesada bringing it down. Ortiz can't get there in time. Good work by Henry to sort things out. Well, each team with its opportunities on free kicks, but it is Phoenix Rising taking advantage. Once again, this is Jägermeister Cup. This is not USL Championship play. That's going to be a foul on Quesada. To the chagrin of the crowd, Ryan Flood. So if we are tied here at the end of the 90, it will be penalties. 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. Again, both of these teams pretty much out of the running to get it. Well, Locomotive definitely out of the running. Phoenix Rising still with mathematical opportunities to get into the quarterfinals, but unlikely. Coronado to Roma. Avila. Emiliano Rodriguez about ready to come into the match for Locomotive to replace Robert Coronado. Another Academy player. Well, Phoenix has gotten older as the game has progressed. Locomotive getting younger. Good lead ball. Moreno tries to put the skids on, but well seen by Pop Marboy. Off of El Paso, it will be a rising throws. There's Pamoduka. As you would expect from an international soccer player and coach, Pamoduka speaks not just one language, he speaks 7. Quite the polyglot. There are a couple of guys, speak 2 or 3, but 7 is impressive. He is also the nephew of Academy Award nominee Jimon Honsu. You might remember that performance in Amistad. If not Amistad, then maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. Well won. Here's Abayevu. Lead ball. Will roll ahead and Jamali Waite will keep that in play. Emiliano Rodriguez about ready to come on here at the next stoppage. Nicely done. Avila inside. The shot is side-footed and wide. Oh, Gabi Torres with a great opportunity. Slices it. And here are your subs. 3 of them for Locomotive FC. Rodriguez, Brian Romero coming in. And Omar Mora for Amando Moreno. So Locomotive getting very much younger. Omar Mora, the son of former El Paso Patriot Omar Mora. I saw his dad score one of the most amazing volleys I've ever seen live at any level of the game. U.S. Open Cup versus Miami. As Rising FC will also have a substitution, and they will bring on an Academy player, Anthony Capitillo. This is the 6 or 15-year-old midfielder. Actually, he's a forward. Capitillo about ready to make his rising entrance. And they'll use that opportunity for a bit of a water break as they tend to the injured Colin Smith, former Rhode Island FC man. It's got to be not just a cultural but a temperature adjustment from Rhode Island to Phoenix. How do you do? What was the high in Phoenix today? 115 maybe? So it will be Capitillo on to replace Colin Smith. So we'll have a little bit of stoppage time added here at the end of regulation. As Wilmer Cabrera wants to press. The Coldplay cam. He doesn't have a partner. Yeah, just there you go. Go to the guy next to you. Current temperature in Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to our crew. 99 degrees. 84 here in El Paso, Texas. The rain's cooling things off. Ozzy the Bat was in a Santa Claus costume earlier. I imagine that he's already got a layer of fur. Adding more fur to the fur. May not be 99 degrees or 90, as the case may be, but that's still warm, especially with the sun up. So near the end of the 88th minute, back and underway. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play. Download now. Having to stretch for that, Ryan Flood did well to control and just get it out. Rodriguez tries for the touch. Cuello, there will be 7 minutes of stoppage time. We've had a bit of injury time added as well as substitutions. So ample opportunity. We've still got roughly 9 minutes of this thing left before we go to penalties. This is the Jägermeister Cup, a reminder, as will be Locomotive's next game at Union Omaha. Of course, that was going to be Dominic Casciato, the head coach of Union Omaha, against his former team, an assistant here under Mark Lowry. And under Hutch, John Hutchinson. But of course, Casciato taking the reins at Tampa Bay to try and lead the Rowdies out of not in the cellar but close to it for a proud Tampa Bay program. Union Omaha also eliminated from advancing in the Jägermeister Cup, so we'll see how things shake out in Omaha, Nebraska next week for Locomotive FC. Do we have a match winner in regulation? We'll have a little over 7 minutes to find out. Here is Torres. Torres, big opportunity off the side of his foot. Crosses here, not able to control Omar Mora. Bounces away from Mora, and that's a foul. Brian Romero back into the lineup, and it's wonderful to see him back in. 7 minutes of stoppage, it is official. Torres wins the throw-in. Nice pass, Mora. Handles his business with Popmar Boy on him. And there is the official signal. Daroma draws a crowd. Phoenix Rising defending like they mean it. Good sidestep by the veteran Palermo Ortiz. Up the middle of the pitch. Ortiz gets to that left foot. Has it go. Deflected out for a throw. And a little shaken up in the process is Marboy, who took that one in an awkward position off the side of the head. Palermo Ortiz can hum it. Here is Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been in the lineup off and on. even as an academy signing for this Locomotive side. Rodriguez taking the throw in there. Couldn't hang on. Ortiz in a battle for it. It's actually Romero. He and Charlie Dennis get in touch with their feelings. Dennis with a little more besides, and the Englishman all over Romero, who draws the ire of the Locomotive squad on the pitch. The Englishman setting up the tying goal. Romero is just back from injury himself and is down. Dennis is going to see caution. We will probably play a little more than 7 minutes. Thompson issuing the caution in the 93rd minute. Ricky Ruiz getting a talking to, who was immediately in to defend his teammate as Dennis went in for a little more with Romero on the turf. Don't know what set that off. But Romero still limping, but under his own steam. Restart. Too far for Beto Avila. Henry will keep it in play. Cuello. Headed out by Romero. Well played, Chapo Vasquez. Gabi Torres, that's a great little flick. Torres, 1 against 2. Good recovery. At the back by Marboy. Back to Torres. And let that one drop and waits for the contact. No foul given. Clearly strategy by the Brazilian. Schwartz lets it go. Locomotive 4-0-2 when leading at the half. But we are about midway through our 7 minutes of stoppage time. We'll see if that stands up in penalties. Locomotive has done well in penalty situations, winning in the Jägermeister Cup match versus Texoma FC. And of course, the U.S. Open Cup match on the road in Albuquerque. Wilmer Cabrera. Happy with his team's efforts when the game is on the line, but probably not with another defensive lapse. Set-piece goals are set-piece goals. And Charlie Dennis is better than most at putting the ball where keepers don't want it. It was Dennis off the crossbar, but Darius Johnson to follow it through for the game-tying goal at this point. Johnson in the 80th minute. Another 80-plus minute goal for Rising FC to tie a match. How's that? Here is Quesada to take another corner for Locomotive. Some of that set-piece magic has gone away. Quesada, high and swinging ball, knocked down. Flood gets on it. Rolled up. That's good effort by Ruiz to stand in front of it. Too far ahead off the foot of Margarita. Well, and it's interesting, too, because as we head toward penalties, there are a number of youngsters on the pitch. There are still some old heads out there for Locomotive FC, but the man who won The penalties at New Mexico, as well as tied the match late. Andy Cabrera is off the pitch. I believe his was the deciding penalty against Texoma FC as well, if memory serves. This will be, interestingly, the first time Jamali Waite has been the keeper for Locomotive if we do go to penalties in a penalty kick situation. Sebastian Mora between the pipes. Here's a nice fall. The shot saved away by Jamali Waite. Beautiful bounce for Isan Sako. Timed his run well. Gets the shot, but Waite there to cover. Into the box again. No foul here. Locomotive trying to clear the danger. Will play on, forward. Omar Mora trying to get there, can't run it down. Players down all over the pitch. Two of them wearing blue. Beto Avila trying to stretch out some cramps. And again, another stoppage, another appearance by Cody Simmons, who's been far too active, I think, for Wilmer Cabrera's bench. Eighth notch. Ready for it. They're going to see the penalty kicks right there in front of them if we go to penalties. Whistles, drums, they never sit. The official supporters group for Locomotive FC. They've got their train whistles and they're ready to go. Penalties will be taken down in that end. We have definitely played well past the 7. Into the 9th minute of stoppage time. Is this the end of the throw-in? One last stab. Ryan Flood. Cuello. Working on Torres. Tries to get wide. Well covered. Locomotive will earn the throw. We've had some stoppages due to injury here in stoppage time. So we play on. Opportunities missed there. It'll be a Phoenix corner. Just misplayed. Rodriguez trying to hook up with Palermo Ortiz. It'll roll over the byline. And here is Avayevu. The Ghanaian. Just 22 years old. Co-leader, 4 goals on the season for Rising FC. 6 assists. That is swung and it's off the head of Sacco. Out of play for another corner. Nope. And that's going to do it. The end of regulation. We are headed to penalties. For the second time in the Jägermeister Cup, Locomotive winning their game at Texoma in their first Jägermeister Cup match. As Pamuruka talking with his assistants. For Locomotive FC, leading 2-1, opportunities galore, but not able to put it in the back of the net. And a set-piece goal undoes Locomotive late. As we take a look at struggles in Southwest University Park. 6 home matches unbeaten to start, but since then, it's been a struggle since May 16th. The win over Indy 11, Los Locos have lost 3 straight games at home. Outscored 6-1 in that span. Still hoping to get 2 points out of this again in Jägermeister Cup play. 2 points for a win, 1 point for a penalty kick shootout loss. Although again for both of these teams, now that 3 points is off the board, Phoenix Rising pretty much eliminated. Pamoduka pointing to the Englishman, Charlie Dennis, say, okay, you're starting. I would imagine he'll take either the first or the last kick. Pamoduka, former MLS player, played in his home country of Norway. Wilmer Cabrera, former Colombian national teamer back in the 90s, 80s and 90s, we should say. Played on the wing. Had a little speed, which his son Andy has apparently inherited. Locomotive, of course, has had a couple of penalties in penalty kick situations in that first match versus Texoma. And, of course, the really big one on the road in Albuquerque in the U.S. Open Cup. As we point out, though, Andy Cabrera was in the lineup then. He is not now. The two team captains. Locomotive apparently wins. They want to go first. Palermo Ortiz and Pop Marboy to settle things here in the Jägermeister Cup, round 3 for Locomotive FC. Kiss the crest. Locomotive fans, young and old, and of course we should point out, speaking of that Youth Academy, it's not just the boys, but opportunities for the ladies as well. Girls soccer, a bigger part of the Locomotive Academy lineup. My broadcast partner Holly Cohen-Mata, who will join me when we hit August, rejoin me I should say. Will be returning. She is one of the Academy coaches. So, there has been a change in the penalty kick situation. We'll have to take it to the north end of the stadium. I think that teams not wanting to take a chance with the laid-in grass and what is the infield here at Southwest University Park for baseball. So, we'll head to the north side. Palermo Ortiz, the team captain, a veteran presence. First to the spot for Locomotive FC. Against Tristan Henry, who has proven himself worthy of the starting nod tonight. Former Memphis 901 FC man has had a couple of huge saves where Locomotive would have already been done and walking off the pitch with the full 3 points here in the Jägermeister Cup. But it is Ortiz versus Henry to start us off. Ortiz lines it up. Stutter step and rolls it in. Gets Henry to guess the wrong way. A certain penalty kick taken by the team captain. As we thought, Charlie Dennis strolls to the spot for Phoenix Rising. You could see Pamoduka says, you're starting. First kick is you, big man. So, Charlie Dennis, and for the first time for Locomotive this season, in their third go-round at penalties, it will be the Jamaican international Jamali Waite in goal for El Paso. Dennis pretty much beat Waite to tie things up in the 80th minute. As Darius Johnson put in the goal off of Dennis's free kick. What does the Englishman have in store? It's through the arms of Jamali Waite, who guessed right, but could not keep it out. Gabi Torres, the Brazilian, will take El Paso's second penalty. Torres, the former Phoenix Rising man, as we see Waite guess exactly right, but if it had been a little further to Waite's right, that would have been a stop. It kind of rolls under his rib cage and off his hip. Tristan Henry, the former Memphis 901 FC man, Canadian. Gabi Torres, the Brazilian. Gabi in his left foot. Torres rolls it through. Henry guessed right, but Torres putting it in a spot where Henry could not make the save. Another sure penalty kick. Emil Cuello. Former Sac Republic man, Cuello. Born in Buenos Aires, raised in Orem, Utah. Looks to take his shot left-footed. Jamali Waite guessed right the first time, guesses right the second time, but Cuello putting it into the far corner. Jamali Waite has been close a couple of times, but not there. And it will be Emiliano Rodriguez, the youngster, to take the next penalty for El Paso. It's a lot of faith, Wilmer Cabrera. Rodriguez. A jaw set firmly. Like his approach. Waits for the whistle. Rodriguez rolls it, it's stopped. Henry guesses correctly and stops that one from the youngster. And here is Pop Marboy, the team captain. Former Clemson man, native of Dakar, Senegal. Rodriguez disappointed. Hard to do when you're an academy player to take these big penalties for the first team. Tristan Henry had that one stopped all the way. Here's Marboy. Backs up. Versus Waite. And it's straight ahead. Jamali Waite stones it. Trying to roll that one straight forward. So, we stay tied at 2. Jamali Waite with his first penalty stop against the team captain, Pop Marboy. Ricky Reese for El Paso to take the next one. This situation, Jägermeister Cup, strictly for the fans, but it is fun to watch. Never fun to be in when you're a player. Ricky Reese looks to take a long run up against Henry, who has one save. Ruiz sneaks it through. Henry guesses right, but a sure kick from the Californian. Margarita will take this next one, number 7. Native of the Netherlands, comes to Phoenix from Saba FK. Big penalty, stands in close to the ball. Looks to take a run up from the edge of the area. To the right foot he goes. Versus Waite. And in past Waite's outstretched right hand. The goalkeepers have done a good job of guessing the direction of the kicks, but have only been able to make one save each. That's a well-taken penalty. Margarita putting it into the very corner. And it'll be Chapo Vasquez next up for El Paso. Headed to Grand Canyon, headed to the Valley of the Sun here in a couple of weeks. Maybe his last bow in front of the home crowd, in front of family and friends, Chapo Vasquez. Straight ahead, goes to that right foot. Vasquez, oh, nicely taken. Tristan Henry makes him guess the wrong way. Sliver, little shimmy. Shimmy of the hips, and in it goes. Beautifully done by Chapo Vasquez. On to Antelope Land. And it's Sacco. If he misses, Locomotive wins. If he makes, we continue. Sudden death until one makes and one misses. Isan Sacco, the Frenchman. Jamali Waite would love to make a save here for his wife and his newborn baby. Sacco, and it goes. Jamali Waite, again, he's guessed right every time just about, but could not sneak the save in. And so, into sudden death we go, and it will be Brian Romero, freshly back from injury. The FC Juarez Bravos man in on loan along with his fellow defender, Palermo Ortiz. And now, all it takes is one miss and one make to end it. Romero versus Tristan Henry. Into the 6th round of penalties. Romero a little step back. Hop, skip, and a jump, and off the fingertips of Henry and in. Henry can't make the stop. Another must-make for Rising FC. And it'll be Academy kid Anthony Capetillo. Capetillo, 15 years old, to take a big penalty for Rising FC. Had a lot of experienced players take him before. Here is the youngster, 15-year-old Anthony Capetillo, trying to keep Rising in this one to move on to the 7th round. Slow run up, he gets it perfectly. We continue. Capetillo. Medal shown by these youngsters here tonight. It'll be Frank DeRoma next. The man from Sierra Leone. Former Las Vegas Light, Tacoma Defiance in MLS Next Pro. Absolute spark plug at 5'4". And really send the ball. Of course, has that one big goal this season for Locomotive, but can score him versus Tristan Henry. Stutter step, rolled into the right corner, beautifully done. Gets Henry to guess the wrong way. And another must-make for Rising FC. Zian Emmers, the Swiss, comes to Phoenix Rising from FC Rapid Bucharesti in Romania. A must-make if Rising wants to send this to round 8 of penalties. Jamali Waite has guessed well so far. He doesn't that time. Emmers takes it firmly, rattles it off the top netting, and gets Waite to go the wrong way. It'll be Beto Avila next for El Paso. Avila, the Austin, Texas native, comes to El Paso from Sporting KC2. Former member of the Austin Bold back in the day. Pour one out, speaking of Jägermeister, for the late great Austin Bold. Winners of the first Copa Tejas. Avila, who scored a pair in U.S. Open Cup play versus his hometown Austin FC of Major League Soccer. Locomotive leading 2-0 late until Brian Reese got involved. Avila touched away. That looked like it was headed wide. Henry guesses correctly. And now, Rising FC in the catbird seat. It'll be Ryan Flood, the 26-year-old from Tempe, Arizona. An opportunity to give Rising the full 2 points here in shootout. He has to miss, or Waite has to save for Locomotive to continue. Here in round 8 of penalties. Ryan Flood to that left foot. Lets it rip, and in it goes. Rising FC with the full 2 points. And Flood shushes the crowd to wave bye-bye. Locomotive loses its 4th straight. Again from a winning position, cannot hang on. That'll be the takeaway for Wilmer Cabrera as Locomotive heads to Omaha, Nebraska in the next round of the Open Cup. Pop Marboy, his team victorious this time. Another draw after regulation. But this time in the Jägermeister Cup, his team walks away with a victory in penalties. Locomotive will take a point. We'll be back to wrap things up after this.
With more traffic back on El Paso highways, the potential for serious accidents is back too.
Insurance companies giving you the runaround? That's old news. What's real news is a lawyer who's got your back. I was born in El Paso, and I've been on the side for injured El Pasoans for over 20 years. I'm attorney Alexandria Zant. Call me today, and I'll give you the real scoop about your case.
Zant Law Firm, 799-0993. Or find us online at zantlawfirm.com.
A mailbox with Pack and Ship Express gives you a real street address and the ability to receive packages from all carriers, not just the post office. Protect yourself against identity theft and protect your home address. No more porch pirates, no more missed deliveries, and you'll get email and text notifications when you receive a package. We have personal business and corporate mailboxes to meet your needs, plus 24-hour access. It's all at Pack and Ship Express, 6112 North Mesa in the Thunderbird Shopping Center.
Welcome back. Southwest University Park is the place. In 8 rounds of the shootout, Phoenix Rising takes the shootout over Locomotive FC 7-6 after a 2-2 draw. Let's take a look at your GECU save of the game. Jamali Waite getting it done. This is at the end of regulation. Big opportunity there for Sacco. Waite was on it all the way. Beautiful roll-up by Abeyebu. Came off the bench. Sacco had an opportunity to make it and end it in regulation. But the Jamaican international keeps El Paso in business. Your physical therapy, balance, and hand centers play of the match. Beto Avila. Good effort there on Jamison Ping to win it back and keep this one for a Locomotive offensive opportunity. Quesada for the corner kick. Quickly look at Estrella of the match. And that is, of course, Gabi Torres with a goal and an assist tonight. Gabi Torres. Nicely rolled up. Beautiful shot in stride, the Brazilian. And his assist, after we take a look at the goal one more time, also a thing of beauty. Gabi Torres making no mistake there. Scores the opener for Locomotive. That tied the match at 1. And then, of course, rolled a beauty to Andy Cabrera to give Locomotive the lead, but a lead they would relinquish in the 80th minute as Darius Johnson gets the game-tying goal. Locomotive losing in penalties as Phoenix Rising brings in a team with academy players. They did sub a lot of them out for more experienced hands as the game wore on. And, of course, it was an experienced hand, Charlie Dennis. Beautifully taken free kick, rattles off the crossbar for Darius Johnson to poke home that tied the match late for Phoenix Rising. And they win it in penalties by the score of 7-6. For all of us here in El Paso, Texas, we appreciate you joining us. Locomotive on the road versus Union Omaha. We'll see you in August. Our director tonight, Cesar Ruiz. Our producer, Colin Deaver. We appreciate your viewership this evening as Locomotive comes back to take the lead but cannot hang on. Wilmer Cabrera looking for positive results. It's back to the drawing board in Omaha, Nebraska next weekend. For all of us here in El Paso, I'm Duke Keith. Rising FC over.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.